And thank you for tuning in to the Radio of Horror show. And our next guest is Iseta Solaris, an artist that I met at Arisia 2016, which was a couple weeks ago at the Western Waterfront Hotel convention I go to every year. And I met Iseta there at the bottom of the escalator where she was set up selling her amazing artwork and in various stages of cosplay throughout the weekend. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Iseta.
Glad to be here.
Iseta and I were talking a little bit off the air about our love of anime, especially one in particular, which I don't think gets enough praise from the younger generation out there. I'm 36 years old, so I grew up on it. I don't know how old you are, but Vampire Hunter D, I don't think gets enough love.
Yeah. I'm actually 26.
Okay, so you're 10 years. I'm 10 years older than you. I feel old.
But I love the novels for Vampire Hunter D.
Have you read all 28 of them? There's like 30 novels or something like that.
There's so many.
I
Yeah,
know.
I have not gotten through all
It's
of them.
crazy. I only have the first two.
I think I own the first. I think volume 7 or something, or volume 6 has like 2 parts to it. So I think technically I have like 7 or 8 volumes of the novels.
Do you have the manga? Because they made manga based on every single novel as well.
I don't. I just have the novels, but I was just a big fan of the novels and how they were written.
And there's only 2 movies, and they're both now on Blu-ray. Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is a shame because it's like, dude, there's like 20 or 30 novels. Make more movies.
and the novels have such really good content in them.
I know.
They're very, like, something I noticed is as dark of a series as it is, just the way it's written is so, like, visually, like, it paints a very vivid picture, and it's just written so beautifully. It's like,
oh, and the artwork is amazing by that artist.
mm-hmm.
Have you gotten do you have the Coffin edition, the art book?
I don't have the art book, but I do, the novels all do have, like, illustrations throughout by the artist who did, the Final Fantasy artwork.
Yeah.
Just very stunning work in general.
I think for years we've been sitting on like rumors of another movie, and then of course now there's a possibility of that they're making, or there's not a possibility, but they are making an animated series.
Huh.
But it's gonna be like until like 2017 until we ever get it, because we're always like a year behind the anime.
Of course. Yeah.
I know. I mean, when Supernatural got made into an anime, that killed me. I had to wait a year for it. I was such a huge Supernatural fan, and then when I got it, I was like, this is not good. This show does not translate well into anime.
Yeah, I don't know. There are some things that just translate better in, like, it's very hard to translate something across media. Like, to translate something that's really good as, like, a TV series, like, live-action TV series into an anime, or from a manga to an anime. Like, it's sometimes very hard to translate over.
Well, I just got done watching the X-Men the anime. Did you ever see that?
I didn't see the anime, no.
Yeah, there's an X-Men anime show. It takes place right after the death of Jean Grey.
Really?
As the Phoenix. And the X-Men are brought back together. So it's Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops, Beast, Professor Xavier, and newly joined team member Emma Frost.
Oh, okay.
The White Queen. And they go to Japan, of course, to find the character called Armor, who was like in Joss Whedon's run of the X-Men comics. And they fight the U-Men, who are kind of like mutant superpowered racists, and and they like the entire time Scott like hates Emma because when Jean was exploding with her Phoenix power, Emma he keeps thinking he saw Emma there, so he like blames her. Of course, they all know she was part of the inner circle, the Hellfire Club, and the Hellfire Club was the reason why Jean went all schizophreno nutso crazy. And so they eventually have to fight the inner circle, and it ends on like this cliffhanger, like revealing like Magneto got out of his plastic prison, but they never made like a second season, which I was really kind of hoping for to see, because they had lame villains this season, it had great animation, it had too much talk, but I was like,
okay, maybe it's a build-up of something.
Yeah, like I would like to see some classic X-Men villains, not the lame U-Men racists and the Hellfire Club of all people, who are again also really lame characters.
But let's get some classic villains.
Yeah, let's get like Omega Red and Magneto and Sabretooth and Mystique. What happens at the end credits on every single episode? We see stills of Mystique, Magneto, and Strife. In the final episode, you have like Iron Man shows up and Captain
Oh
Britain
my
and
god.
Nightcrawler and Colossus
I
and
mean, even some of the more ridiculous villains, like, oh my god, I forget what his name,
but the
Apocalypse or some
Brood.
nonsense like that. Like the
Yeah.
ridiculous ones from like the '90s animation.
Well,
That's
these were
my stuff
all
right
like
there.
anime properties that like a Japanese God, I can't remember the studio now. Madhouse. They acquired from Marvel to make an anime shows. It was Iron Man, the X-Men, Wolverine, and Blade. And out of all of them, I think Blade is the best because
Hmm.
it just reminds me of Vampire D.
Yeah. Good reason.
How was Aresia for you?
It was good. It was my first Orisha ever, so
Oh
that was
wow!
exciting. Yeah, it
And you
was my
came all the way
first
out
one.
from Western Massachusetts. That's a freaking haul.
It was a haul. It was also my first Orisha and my first time doing Artist Alley there, obviously. So it was an adventure. I also had made a mistake when I was figuring out where I was going to stay because it was very last minute when I was told, "Oh, hey, you're accepted into Artist Alley." Um, I thought they meant it was at the Westin at Copley, not at the waterfront.
Ouch.
So I had a good because I did not pay closer attention. I ended up commuting a fair distance. It was like a good hour and a half, hour and 15-minute train ride.
Yikes.
Yeah, but it was still really good. Like it's and pretty much that was my convention was like maybe like a couple photo shoots in the morning and then just Artist Alley, and that was it. But it was really good. Like getting to meet everyone there and kind of seeing a different kind of convention. It was really nice.
What would be the best way you would describe your artwork? It seems very old school. Like the altered book stuff looks like
Yes.
something out of like the Necronomicon.
I know. I kind of wish I had brought some for either display or even to sell. So with my artwork, I work solely in traditional art. Other than taking photographs or scans of my work to then make prints of it.
Uh-huh.
I don't do any real digital work. Um, so with like the altered books, I take moleskin journals and I'll like distress the paper. I'll like tear it, glue it together, use a watercolor like wash over it, and then like kind of create almost like a story within those books,
Oh,
but
cool.
using yeah, kind of like with like it's a more of a visual than it is like an actual like literal like narrative.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so I'll like layer text with images, figures. I'll sometimes use charcoal or ink to like make shadowing or like look like it's burnt on the edges when it's really just watercolor and charcoal.
Uh-huh.
Um, and each of them have different themes to it. Most of them usually have to do a lot of my work really has to do with a lot of like identity conception and like
There's some really alternative, like non-traditional, like screwed up imagery I see throughout this. Is it supposed to be? And if anyone wants to check it out, check it out. It's on her website and it's under the altered books link. Iseta Solaris carbonmade.com, and you can click altered books, and or you can or if I'm screwing up the name of the site, just go look up Iseta Solaris on Facebook, and you'll see a link to her thing on the about section.
the thing that I really liked at Orisha was they had a wealth of different pronouns available, and even if you wanted to have like write in your own or just be like don't use these pronouns, just use my name, it was just like really nice. It's not like very restricted. Me personally, I like they, them, and their just as pronouns. It's really great that it's to see a convention that's very much on top of that, and even in some of the panel choices too, in terms of transgender, LGBT, asexuality. It's just like awesome stuff.
Do you
More
go to
conventions need to be more mindful of this.
Do you go to a lot of conventions?
I've been to a fair amount. I
Do you cosplay
think
at all of them?
pretty much actually, yeah. I've been cosplaying since my first convention, which was Anime Boston 2008. And that was my first ever convention.
Anime Boston 2008. That was my first Anime Boston ever.
Ah, that was mine.
Yay!
Con 2008.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, I like look back and cringe when I see those cosplays from back then. But it's like,
Oh my god, I had one of the worst cosplays at Anime Boston. It was a trying to be like a Castlevania thing, and it looked like crap. Every picture I'm in, I've deleted. I was just like, oh my god.
yeah,
It looked
there were some where I'm
awful
like,
in that
"Ooh, this
what the hell? What was the shirt I was wearing? I mean, what the outfit just does not mesh. It does not put together very well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, some people kind of got what I was trying to go for, but I still felt very embarrassed because I was just like, what am I doing in this stupid thing? But now, since then, I've gotten like other costume pieces to help my Castlevania style costume. Do you know anything about Castlevania?
A little bit, yeah.
So in the original game, Simon Belmont looks like He-Man with a whip. So Dominatrix He-Man, maybe? I don't know. Because let's face it, He-Man's just running around in chainmail and a loincloth.
Yeah, so just add a whip to that, I guess.
You know, and of
Castlevania.
course, He-Man in the 80s was the most ambiguously gay cartoon ever made. For all the reasons I'm not going to go into on the air, you can go watch Nostalgia Critics review of He-Man. I swear to God, he's not trying to be offensive. He is just pointing out the what the hell were they thinking in the 80s.
He's probably one of my favorite web reviewers.
Oh my God, have you seen his stuff then? Isn't it great?
I love it. Oh my god, the Transformers one?
Oh my God.
10 out of 10.
So damn funny. I don't like his sidekicks. I'm just a fan of him. I really can't stand his sidekicks.
Yeah, I'm more just a fan of him.
And Nostalgic Chick, I love her.
Mhm.
I love her. I forget the thing she does, but she takes the character, like a fictional character, through all their different incarnations, and goes over them. Like she did Nightcrawler, she did Starscream, she did Hades.
I really miss I don't think her stuff's on Channel Awesome anymore. I really liked Yezu Otaku.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. That whole channel got in some trouble recently due to copyright crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fair Use Law Act stuff, and just I couldn't even understand half of it, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sigh. What's next? They're gonna start attacking cosplayers, saying that you're not.
That's what I heard.
I heard. I heard this is like seriously like. Wait, you're what? You're gonna attack the free walking advertisement to your crappy film that looks smoking hot and not causing you any problems? I mean, is it because they're making money? Then I gotta play devil's advocate and go, oh yeah, let's rethink that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you're not making any money off of it, then whatever. You know what I mean? But if you're like making like millions of dollars of endorsements, yeah, Han. I don't know. I don't know enough to comment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll comment if you're not making any money dressed as goth chick with cigarette. I forgot the name of the character. Nana, thank you. But like Yaya Han is making like all this money
off of her cosplays. Yeah, I don't make any money off of
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. So I won't. I mean, like I'll comment on that because you're not making any money. So why should you be punished? But somebody who is, I don't know. I don't know enough about the law to comment.
Yeah.
I just use Yaya Han as an example because she's so popular.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like she's probably
Jennifer
one of the more
Negri, or
well-known
you say Jennifer
cosplayers.
Negri, or you say AZ Power Girl.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, I'm using mostly women because let's face it, most of the well-known cosplayers out there are women.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big modeling game, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a lot of mess with copyright stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Again, and I don't know enough about it to comment either negative, for or against it. So,
I think
and
most people they like to, show their love of the character. It's a way of kind of expressing yourself. That's something I really like about it, is the whole like identity piece. That's why I, very much enjoy it. But it's not really something that most people are going into it thinking, oh, I can make money off of this. Like,
some people
mostly,
do.
I'm a nerd.
Some people do go into it like thinking, I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah, no.
It's a weird, it's a fickle bitch.
Yeah.
The speaking of cosplays, I noticed you have a big thing for Rise of the Guardians.
That's been like my recent cosplay that I've worn the most and has been photographed the most, so that's why Jack Frost is just everywhere.
It looks really cool. I mean, you look like Jack Frost in it. I mean, let's face it. When they animate these characters, they have very feminine faces, and Jack Frost, has got a very feminine-like face to it.
Mm-hmm. It's that's probably like one of my favorite cosplays to wear by far. I'm really proud of because the hoodie I painted myself. Same with the the pants and everything. A friend of mine made the base of the staff and I painted it. So that was like a team effort there, and it's so much fun to just it's a really comfortable. It's fun to get into character, and it's really great, and it's really easy to pose and photograph with. Just with the staff, it gives a lot to work with.
I was at Aresia one year. The boogeyman from Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, Pitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got somebody who had some spray on stuff, whatever, and I got did my hair all kind of cool and spiky, and I got this long kind of flowing dressy cloak thing, and I look pretty badass, I'll admit.
Nice.
Scared the crap out of some kids.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of the intention behind Pitch.
And I got to fight a Jack Frost girl again, another woman dressed like Jack Frost. Never any guys. It's always women as the Jack Frosts.
I've seen a couple guys as Jack Frost. There are a handful of them that exist.
It's kind of like whenever I do Castiel. I do Castiel a lot because I'm a big fan of his on Supernatural. Again, it's every time I go to cons, I almost never meet another male Castiel. I'll meet 30 other females dressed as Castiel.
Yeah, I actually do know another male Castiel cosplayer. One other now besides you. I know one other person who's a male Castiel.
Are you gonna do any type of awesome Rumble or Frenzy cosplaying? Because I noticed you were a fan of the Soundwave Superior.
Oh my goodness, my Soundwave thing.
Yes. But one of the best lines in Transformers the movie was just Soundwave Superior, Constructicons inferior. Who are you calling inferior? Nobody will fall on a cosmetic bore like you. And then the tapes jump out of his chest or whatever. He goes, hey, nobody calls Soundwave uncosmetic. Yeah. All right, let's kill Gates. And the Constructicons unite inside Astro Train. They start kicking each other's ass. And you're just as an adult, you're watching this thing going, how big is Astro Train that Devastator can form inside him without ripping a hole through him? And then this Decepticon is just getting sucked out into the vacuum of space.
Oh my god. G1 Transformers is a gift.
The science behind it makes no sense. When Starscream deposits Megatron outside the ship, where he's like, I still function. And he's like, what a bet. It's was there a force field there? Because they got the doors open. It looks like there's no force field. They all should be sucked out into the vacuum of space.
They should. It's Transformers. None of it makes sense.
At least in the newer cartoons, there's some science. At least Michael Bay, for all of the crap we give him, he puts some science into the Transformers. Let's face it, if a car transformed into something, it would look like the way they do in the Michael Bay movies.
And not like that mysterious trailer that just appears on Optimus and disappears when he transforms back into his Autobot form. It's where does it go?
In the Return of Optimus Prime,
always there.
In the Return of Optimus Prime Part 2, when he transforms for the first time since being dead, the trailer just shows up, and they're did they pull that out of storage? I mean, how would they know that this thing was gonna work? Or is there a scene we missed where Optimus is alive and they're the Quintesson is rebuilding the other Autobots or whatever to give Optimus a small army to go fight the evil plague with? That he's not hey, by the way, where's my trailer? I'm alive.
It's oh crap, we need that, don't we?
I think it's below Metroplex, below the destroyed version from the movie. Let's get into real continuity here, Optimus.
Continuity? Transformers? Don't need that.
I asked Peter Cullen one time. I met Peter. Have you ever met Peter Cullen?
I have not.
Peter Cullen is the voice of Optimus Prime. Of course, along with many other characters. And I asked him one time, this was after an embarrassing fan was right in front of me, which I'll get to in a second. I said, so when you come back to life in Return of Optimus Prime, he's like, I remember. It's like you're like, there's this like really climactic moment that Quintesson pulls the switch down, and Skylynx is like, if this doesn't work, our leader will never live again. And then this like beam of light and this like ominous music starts playing, and Optimus Prime just stands up. It's like, he's back, our leader. Yes, he's returned. And Optimus Prime is like, yes, Skylynx, and this time no force in the universe will stop me. And he's looking at me. He's like, yeah, you're right. It does say that, doesn't it? I was like, yeah. What the hell? And he's just like. If I was in the writer's room, I probably wouldn't have said it like that. Because Optimus Prime is literally like, I'm going to control the universe now.
Like, are you supposed to be the good guy?
Did the Quintessons mess with his head when they brought him back to life? I mean, I know they're evil, so...
Yeah, now he's a villain.
So before I got to meet Peter Cullen, this guy got down on his hands and knees in front of Peter Cullen, like he was proposing marriage, and started crying in front of him, telling Peter how Optimus Prime was a better father figure to him than his own father was. And I'm like, dude, get out of the line. I just want to meet Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And Peter is sitting there, like, looking around, like, uh-oh, what do I do?
Yeah, how do I do this? It's like, okay, fan, they're there. You might benefit from some therapy.
It was the most embarrassing thing. And I was just like, finally got to him, I was like, wow. And he's just like, yeah, that takes all types. What can I do for you? I'm Peter.
Oh my goodness. Well, talk about bouncing right back. I guess that's like...
He had a long line, and this was when he was doing it for free. Now he's like $40 an autograph.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're going to be at Anime Boston coming up in March. What other conventions are you coming up?
Let's see. So
we are so off topic sometimes with this.
That's okay.
This is what makes it fun. It's more like a conversation, less of an interview.
Yeah, exactly. So I will be working the art show at Anime Boston. And so far the confirmed conventions I'll be going to as of now are that one and Granite State Comic Con in September. I will be at the Artist Alley there as well.
Cool.
So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from a couple other conventions. And I'm hoping last year I was at AAC's Artist Alley. That was my first Artist Alley ever. And I'm hoping to be there again. It was just a really great experience. Really good venue. It's actually in the same venue as Granite State, so should be good.
There was a couple things I wanted to ask you about that you happen to read, because we were talking in the email about like what you read. Are you currently up to date with Batman? The Jim Gordon Batman.
About New 52, but not as up to date as I could be. But
I'll be honest with you. I think there's only two solid New 52 titles that are still going on. I loved Vampire, but that got canceled. Oh, there's a Masters of the... Did you know Masters of the Universe is published by DC Comics? And it's fantastic. Huh. It is so well written. It's so good.
I tend to read a lot more Marvel. Like, now that I'm actually looking at, like, the stack of comic books next to me, it's like, yeah, I read a lot more Marvel than anything.
I flipped a coin between Spider-Gwen and Silk, and I went with Silk. I did not like Spider-Gwen after the first 2 or 3 issues.
Oh, yeah?
No, not my thing. I got a big thing for Cindy Moon, but I'm not in love with the current artist on her book. Her artist sucks. It's awful. The artwork is muddy. It looks just kind of...
Yeah.
You know, it's not Stacey Lee. I met Stacey Lee at the Boston Comic Con, and she was exactly how I pictured the artist of Silk was. She had like tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was like, this is exactly how I pictured the artist of this comic book is. The current artist is Tana Ford, and I hate her artwork. It's just kind of, everyone looks like they have been punched in the face too many times, and they look weird, and the lines are just awful. It's just not as pretty as the last artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was the same problem with Spider-Gwen. I was not a big fan of the Spider-Gwen artist. I mean, I thought the story was okay. I gotta realize it's in an alternate universe, but I wasn't a big fan of that artist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's I don't know. Like
But what's been consistently good at DC has been Justice League, I think.
Yeah. I've been a big fan of like the animated stuff that DC and Marvel comes out. Like I love 90s X-Men. Like that stuff was great.
Oh my god, the best thing that came out of DC Comics was the DC animated universe.
Mm-hmm.
Superman, Batman, Justice League, Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah.
I'll throw the Zeta Project in there just for shits and giggles, but I mean that stuff is great. You know what I mean? You want to talk about the best written DC comic stories of all time? Superman, Batman, and the Justice League animated series. All 5 seasons. I know it became like Justice League Unlimited, but that was great stuff. Especially the stuff like Amanda Waller, I thought was some of the best written stuff. Like the dark, like government's conspiracy against the Justice League. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I think like of the
Teen Titans Go sucks.
Huh?
I said Teen Titans Go sucks.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's so terrible.
Did you hear what the next DC animated movie is going to be?
The next DC animated movie? No.
Yes. So they do the direct-to-DVD animated films, right?
Yes.
Okay, and the next one's going to be Batman something or another, where like Bruce dies and Nightwing becomes Batman. It's part of the Damian Wayne Batman's story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're also going to be introducing Batwing and Batwoman.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then the next one's going to be Teen Titans versus the Justice League. It's going to be basically, I guess, obviously Batman comes back to life. Damian is on a mission with the Justice League, and he screws up, and Batman kicks him off the Justice League to go hang out with the Teen Titans, which he's not a fan of. And so it's Nightwing, Starfire, Blue Beetle, Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl, and Damian. And I guess something happens. They're going to have to fight the Justice League.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And of course, Cyborg's on the Justice League now. You know what I mean? He's been graduated to the Justice League. But he's obviously, one of the founding members of the second generation of Teen Titans from the Marv Wolfman, George Perez run. So that's kind of interesting too, because they have him in the photo with the animated photo with his other Teen Titan characters. Oh, Garfield, Logan, Beast Boy is there too. So I'm really looking forward to that. So.
Yeah.
Because we never got that Justice League Judas Contract animated movie. Teen Titans Judas Contract animated movie. That got canceled.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite of the animated movies was Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, that seems to be like the big favorite out of all of them. A lot of people really love that one.
I really do. Like, that's just, ow. That hurts so much when I watch it.
I thought the Batman Superman 2 movies they did, Public Enemies and Apocalypse, was really good. Because you have Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy back in it, which is really great. And you have also Clancy Brown was returning to play Lex Luthor, along with, you had like the Amanda Waller from the animated series playing Amanda Waller. They did a really good job getting the actors back to play the characters from the animated series that you loved. Wonder Woman.
So it's like that kind of consistency.
Exactly. Wonder Woman was the same again as well. I don't know if Big Barda was. I know Michael Richardson was the voice of Darkseid this time, not Michael Ironside like he was in the the Superman and Justice League animated series. So, and that's like one thing I'm kind of hoping for is that I know Darkseid's probably going to be CGI in the upcoming Justice League movie they're making, but for God's sakes, get Michael Ironside to do the voice of Darkseid.
Right.
Because that would be so awesome. Are you really looking forward to the Superman Batman movie coming out in March? Just before Anime Boston, too, by the way.
It is coming out just before Anime Boston. I'm really curious about it. I'm curious to see where they kind of go with it, especially after having ended the Dark Knight trilogy that they did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it'll be really, really good. Did you do you hit your what's your local comic book store that you hit every Wednesday?
Oh my goodness. So out here, I when I'm in Western Mass, I go to Modern Myths. In Northampton. And if I'm in Central, I'll go to That's Entertainment in Park Ave, in Worcester.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm originally from Central Mass. I just live in Western now, so those are my two big comic book stores.
Awesome. Well, why don't you give away your website name and Facebook, if you're on Twitter as well, or Tumblr, or any of that stuff, whatever, and give out all your social medias before we let you go.
All right, sure. So my Facebook is Iseta Solaris, ISETA SOLARIS, and my website is isetasolaris.carbonmade.com.
Cool.
Yeah, and those are my big social media like forms of communication. So I do have a Tumblr, but that's just for cosplay. So I can share that as well. It's
Yes,
Solaris.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's Solaris Cosplay. SOLARIS-cosplay.
Thank you for coming on the show with us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you at Anime Boston coming up.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Feel free to stop by the art show. I will be on staff there.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Have a good one.